Lucky Lefty Podcast, the Honora Boys. We are in the building, and we are brought to you by Honora Whiskey, HonoraWhiskey.com. It is that premium American whiskey, HonoraWhiskey.com. And let me tell you something. After this weekend, it's been a tough off season, but after last night, I'm sure there's a lot of Notre Dame fans getting ready to take a good shot of that Honora whiskey left.
That's
but
right.
We want you to do one thing. If you drink, make sure that you do it
responsibly.
Let's get it lit. Lucky Lefty Podcast. I am Shaun Davis, SD2 Mics, that dude, the original Lucky Lefty himself, MALIK ZAIRE. We are brought to you, as I said before, by Honora Whiskey, HonoraWhiskey.com, courtesy of Bleav Network. Check out audio, edibles each and every day, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and we are presented by FanDuel. You can simply go over to FanDuel.com or go to FanDuel and download the app. Super Bowl 60 left. The New England Patriots against the Seattle Seahawks. Shout out to Julian Love and Riley Mills.
The first J Love.
Getting to the Super Bowl, and they will be 4.5-point favorites against the New England Patriots, who have averaged 18 points in the playoffs and still found their way to make it to the Super Bowl. That is crazy. They have averaged 18 points offensively and still have found a way to make it to the Super Bowl, led by Drake May. You can find that. They got the prop bets over there for the Super Bowl, novelty bets, all types of stuff. You know, Sam Darnold is plus 125 to be the Super Bowl MVP. Drake May is plus 230. Jackson Smith and Jigba, plus 500. I like that. And I like Kenneth Walker at plus 700 because Kenneth Walker has been putting in work. He's been putting in work.
Is Jigba the best Ohio State receiver now? Is he better than Jeremiah Smith? Because they talk about him as like
I think him and Garrett Wilson probably had the best first two seasons.
Garrett Wilson had a crazy first year.
Yeah, Garrett Wilson was crazy coming to the league, but Jackson is
a dominant league player. Like, it's not even a rookie thing. He's just the better receivers in the league.
Yeah. You can find that much more over at FanDuel, FanDuel.com, or you can download the FanDuel app. Shortly, you know why we're here. Left has a clear runway. I'm going to let him bear his heart out about the sad news for Notre Dame fans and the Notre Dame program that Mike Mickens, former Notre Dame defensive back coach, has taken a job as the pass game coordinator and defensive back coach for the Baltimore Ravens, where his safeties are former Notre Dame players. So that's a good thing. He's about to be coaching of Loie Gilman and Cal Hamilton.
So he's walking into a nice setup. I felt like, he's leaving the program in a good place, and he's going also to another good place. And it's hard to feel like he can't leave because, like you told me, and like you said on XSD, and I thought it was brilliant, you said it's his life. It's his life. Unfortunately, for this situation, the man gotta live his life. Now, as much as I and you and the Notre Dame faithful and this ice cream truck that wants to come by right now think that he had everything and some in front of him at Notre Dame this particular year. But I think, in credit to Mike Mickens, he has built the resume bulletproof. and has established himself not only as an elite coach and as an elite recruiter, but a loyal guy. You talking about Marcus Freeman's first hire in a lot of sense. He probably didn't even hire him. He was just in his pocket like, oh, you with me. And for him to stay through the rise, a lot of guys dipped at their peak. A Parker, a Tommy Reese, a Al Golden, a Max Bullock. Guys are dipping out of here when they see the slightest success. But for Mike Mickens to be doing well like he's doing and having a relationship with recruits to come in to transform high school players, older players, develop players, make players better than what we thought they could be, develop a belief system, establish elite players that he can say, oh, on my resume, I got guys doing it now and then. He came in riding success with a Sauce Gardner. He's leaving with debatably 2 corners better than Sauce and 2 safeties and a couple other players. I mean, in a short amount of time, Mike Mickens has put a resume that's comparable to any coach in college or in the NFL. So that's the golden gem. That's the golden goose in Marcus Freeman's presidential cabinet. That's like his ace in the hole. That's the guy that you bring out when you compare staffs and be like, you don't have a guy like this, though. A perfectly placed guy in recruiting, and he's a defensive guy. He helped you in many ways. Arguably a guy that can be considered a D coordinator in many other cases. Could have made a case. Could have made a case for him to step up in the role when Al Golden left. Could have made a case. So the guy's resume, his credentials, and his earned journey is all worth it. It's 100% understandable why he would take the next level. Now, the timing is off. The timing begs questions. Is it a money thing? Because I heard Notre Dame say no matter what they offer Marcus Freeman, every year is going to be able to be met. Because it's a year-to-year thing. Did he not include Mike Mickens? Did Marcus Freeman not tell him that Mike Mickens is a part of this? Yeah, I know I'm the Obama, but that's my right-hand man. I think that's a bigger fracture than anything that Marcus Freeman has dealt with in all these off seasons. And a lot of it is because I remember the days when Mike Mickens and Marcus Freeman used to get on the jet. Just them two. When recruiting was in the 10s and the 15s. They was hopping on the jet, eating a bunch of mom's spaghetti in different parts of the country. Some with sugar, some with salt. Some mixed, some with on top, some with on, some with some Italian sausage and some without it. Many different spaghettis in many states recruiting. That's just him and Mike Mickens. So it's a bittersweet moment because what can Marcus Freeman really say? Marcus Freeman had the opportunity to do a lot to secure Mike Mickens' position. We don't know how those conversations went. We don't know what happened when he told him that he got an outside guy to be the DC when he could have easily stepped in. We don't know what happened. I think it would have helped him stay. That's what I think if he made that decision, we wouldn't be talking about this today. But this is a great thing about college football, that it gives and it taketh away. I mean, how much greater could the man have been for Notre Dame? What else could you have asked Mike Mickens other than, can you just deliver a championship yourself? I mean, what else could we ask him? We clearly didn't ask him to be the DC. So where else could we have asked him to be great at that he didn't do it? I mean, what you want? He never fell off. He didn't have a Benjamin Morrison and then couldn't find one after. He gave you another one. Gave you a couple of them. He was so good that we had good guys that had to leave. A Kennedy Urlacher, USC's best safety, was in too much of a crowded room for a Mike Mickens. Mike Wiggins was so good, he had to turn away people at the door. He said, I know you want to come in, but it's just too crowded. It's too talented. I can't beg you to stay, and I can't ask you to leave. That's how good the room was. So what? Something had to give. Because for him to be able to do so well and stay so humble, you didn't see him subtweeting with Instagram accounts and Finstas and fake Twitter accounts saying what he should have been getting. He's been in the pocket the whole time. So yes, this is Marcus Freeman's biggest loss since Marcus Freeman has been there. I think it's going to be a hard thing to replace that guy. All power to him. I think he's going to be great wherever he goes. Unfortunately, it's not with Notre Dame and Marcus Freeman, but I think that was a great combo. Sometimes in college football, you got to stick to your roots, stick to your guns. Chasing the greener pastures isn't always good. What if he stayed and we won? He could have had more leverage going into next year. I don't believe he thought that they were going to be bad next year. I don't believe he thought that they wasn't going to at least have the chance to get to a championship next year. So what could it have been? I can understand if it was like, we might be murky. He's got a top first-round corner, a top 3-round safety, a potential two or 3 day other corner, deep at the safety position with a future first, second round opposite of Adon. You bring in a nickel that can be productive and not be a step behind because he's a veteran. You're leaving a great setup. What is it? You have undoubtedly a top 5 group in the entire country going into next year. Top 5. And you're leaving that to chase what? Now, I know you're going into another organization that got 2 great Notre Dame players. One that could be a Hall of Fame. That's a good starting point. So maybe that's what it is. But then again, you got a future first rounder, a future second, third rounder. You got some future first, second rounders at safety right now on the same team. You recruited them. You brought them in. What did you thought was going to happen? I get it. You had a first-round corner next year. Christian Gray will be a first, second day guy, maybe third. How do you keep that up if you Marcus Freeman? Who do you replace that with? You're looking at the staff now. The staff don't look the same like last year. I don't have the confidence in the staff like I did last year. Is Charlie Partridge the guy that we need to replace at the D-line coach? Maybe. I don't know. Is Chris Ash in his second year? Where do we go? We lost Bullock. We lost Mickens. Marcus Freeman doing his thing. I mean, where do we go? It has to be led in the direction. So there's a transition in the defense. It's not going to look like the same defense that it did last year. Every year is different. But this is a different version of what we expected. Defense might take a hit out of respect for Mike Mickens. I'm not saying that we're going to be terrible, but I don't think we'll be as good without him because that's how good he is. You don't just find a Mike Mickens hanging around nowhere. So, of course, we're going to take a hit in some aspect. No different than how I said we're going to take a hit from Al Golden to Chris Ash just because of how long Al Golden's been building this thing. No different than how Kalen DeBoer was going to take them 5 losses in some way first year after Saban because it's Nick Saban. What do you mean? You're not just going to roll into the next year after Saban retires and produce the same success. It's impossible. Even the great Patriots had to go through some lows when they lost Belichick and Tom Brady. They were literally the worst team in the league. Like, now, a quick turnaround and a good front office, they made a good couple changes, and there they go. They back on top. But something changes when you lose something so monumental like Mike Mickens. I'm glad he left college, though. I wouldn't want to see him nowhere else in college because he'd be a problem. Recruiting, coaching against, transfer portal, all of that, he'd be a problem. So it was good he went there. And then again, it adds to Mike Mickens' resume. I mean, Marcus Freeman's resume. You producing great coaches now. You got the coaching tree thing going. But it's a huge loss for us, huge loss for recruiting, huge loss for the program unity, huge loss in the secondary, huge loss for the defense, huge loss for the program in general. So I'm just wondering, what's the next step? I'm very happy for him. I think this is the right step. It's not too many. I mean, where else are you going to turn to? He has given you all and then some, more than you could ask for. And I'm not going to say we could have helped the situation. We talked about how this could be, he could help this situation, right? We talked about what could keep him there a year or two longer. Clearly, Notre Dame isn't short on money anywhere. I'm sure there could have been conversations to throw him a couple more, but it didn't happen. So are you saying it's a replaceable thing? I find it hard to believe that, but answers got to be filled. In my opinion, the most devastating thing that happened to Marcus Freeman in his offseason while at Notre Dame is this right here. So we'll see how he rebounds from this. He's done a good job of all the other things, but this is the one that hits the hardest.
Lucky Lefty Podcast. You done, Left? I want to make sure you're done.
It's an emotional day, man.
Okay. I just want to make sure you're done before I start. First of all, congratulations to Coach Mick. Incredible dude.
Incredible.
Absolutely incredible dude.
We had him on the show before the blow up.
I want to speak personally. The first coach to head nod and dap me and continue to do so every time we were around was Coach Mick. When the new coaching staff was introduced and I went and covered that meeting, he was the first coach I talked to. And everybody else was crowding around Harry and all of the Adela McCullough and all of the other coaches. And it was just me and Mike Mickens sitting at a table. And just had 10 minutes to just pick his brain and just talk to him. He's a better person than he is a coach. I'll reiterate. He's a better person than he is a coach. This, over the last 2 days, developed. And he moved speedily to make sure that his guys and his recruits heard it from him first. You don't see that a lot in current day football. You do not see that a lot. Cats are out the door. And young men are
left. The first opportunity.
And young men are left saying, yo, we couldn't even get a phone call? Just a high character dude, bro.
Absolutely.
Just a high character dude. So that's why I was upset on X last night when I saw Notre Dame fans saying silly stuff like, I'm not happy for him. You're not happy for him. What are we talking about? What do you mean you're not happy for him? You cannot like that he made this decision. You could think that it's a lateral decision, career-wise. You can have any opinion in the world. You don't have to be a fan of Notre Dame to say, man, that's what you decided was best for you and your family. And I'm happy for you. It doesn't take fandom to say that. It just doesn't. Just good human spirit should be able to tell someone, yo, you took that job? Oh, you're moving to that city? Oh, you made that decision? Oh, man, I'm happy for you. Oh, you decided to marry that young lady? You decided to marry that young man? You decided to get engaged to them? Man, hey, I'm happy for you. But to see certain fans, the vitriol, dude, it's almost like Maximus in the middle of the Coliseum. What else do you want him to do? Have you not been entertained? Have you not been entertained by his players in his position room? Have you not? The rhetoric, the rumors, what was going on. Left, it is my opinion that all of this more than likely is different if one simple thing happens. Just one simple thing. Not the hiring or choosing of Coach Mickens over another candidate for the DC position. No. Not more money. No. A simple conversation / interview. A simple conversation / interview to allow Coach Mickens to have a vision for upward mobility at Notre Dame. That's it. It didn't even have to be a formal, because of the relationship, it didn't even have to be a formal interview, Left. An informal conversation. That's it. Just an informal conversation. Yo, come to my office. What's good? What you thinking? Okay, this is what I'm thinking. Vision, plan, something. We said it last year. The clock was ticking once everything happened the way it happened.
Oh, absolutely.
We said it.
Unavoidable.
This happening was on the clock. It was on the clock. It was on the clock.
Because it was the move was so written on the wall. It was written on the wall. This is the right choice. And we're not saying he had to make it, but it's no different than the feeling I felt when we wanted Marcus Freeman to take that spot. We just kind of was like, okay, this is a no-brainer. You in-house. We an in-house school. We in-house promotions. We sometimes do it when we least expect it. So I thought this was no different. But I knew, me and you talked about it, like you said, the hourglass got tipped on the other side as soon as they made that decision. Marcus Freeman had to have known that. Had to have. If that's your boy from the Cincinnati days, all the conversations y'all had, making a transition to Notre Dame, you becoming the head coach, you probably promised him he got you stick with me, we riding to the top together. I'm sure it happened. Because how do you stay that long and y'all not have those conversations? I'm sure Mike Mickens was the number one supporter for Marcus Freeman to be head coach. Number one. So there had to have been some form of disappointment when he didn't get that. Did he even get an interview?
No, sir.
Oh, see, yeah. there had to be a moment that, they didn't capture on the inside the iris. That's the money content right there. You got the content with Kenny. Get the content with Mike Mickens and Marcus Freeman having that conversation. That's going to win you the Emmy. Because how is that supposed to go? That's the most important conversation for the future. You talk about vision. That's the conversation for the future. Your quarterback and what you do with Mike Mickens. You ain't put that on there. And maybe it should have been because it probably would have gave more context right now. But we all knew because he was too good at his job to just be still doing secondary coaching. And you tried to salvage it, right? You came up with a position, created a new thing I've never heard of, the head coach of the secondary. What is that? That probably started the clock faster. They did that to you, Marcus Freeman, head coach of the defensive side. And you did it to him? Now, I'm speculating, but that's what I saw. So just because we believe so much in his talent, he had no choice. Even if it was a horizontal move, he was like, what? It's a dead end. If I couldn't have done enough to get the head coaching, the DC job at Notre Dame, and I did even better after the decision was made. He did so good after the decision was made, he had to leave almost. Because what you don't keep doing good like that and don't take advantage of the next step. That's just as a coach. You know what I mean? That's just look at Eric Bleav. That brother's still chasing. No, he just got put back on Kansas City, but man, you talking about around the world and back. Mike Mickens like, nah, I don't like that. I don't like that role. I don't want to do that. I literally do not want to do that. You got to Eric Bleav literally, instead of getting the OC job at Kansas City, leaves, travels around the world because they chose Matt Nagy, your favorite coach. They chose Matt Nagy over this man, Eric Bleav. Eric Bleav had to travel the world just to come back and coach finally as the OC again. Finally? What was that, 5-6 years? Jeez Louise. Mike Mickens said, oh, no. I'm too good. I'm too good to do that. Let me go ahead and get up out of here. Because I just, it was no way. It was either going to happen now or after this year anyway. So it was a win-win. It was going to happen right now or it was going to happen right after this year. Because right after this year, there's no way they're not calling for Mike Mickens. Because we're going to be in the playoffs and we damn near might win it. He'll be the hottest thing smoking. I think his leverage would be better if he waited till after this year. But I mean, shoot, you get a call from the league. You coach some former ND guys. Baltimore is a solid organization. They're in a rebuild. Now you're going to lose because it's the NFL, but maybe you want that coaching challenge. Who knows? I think he left some on the table at Notre Dame clearly because he just built it up so great, but so did Al Golden. Al Golden, was hot. Left when it was hot and got super cold after. But that's the league. That's going to happen. So shout out to Mike Mickens, man. I mean, dang. Marcus Freeman, you had a chance. I think this is a huge crux in your career at Notre Dame because this was one that I think it's going to be tough to overcome.
I'll just that's funny, man. The Matt Nagy, I like how you threw that in there, bro.
That's your guy.
I didn't want to interrupt. I was like, I can't believe this dude threw Matt Nagy. BTB questions, put them in because we're going to get to those on your super chats. We appreciate those in advance. I'm just going to say this, man. I had to pray. In all honesty, I had to pray. I had to pray, meditate, and speak over myself because I was so infuriated when I woke up this morning. Absolutely infuriated. And I had to tell myself, Sean, find a way to talk about it in a way where you can be balanced and see a silver lining. So I have a silver lining.
Is that even possible?
That I'm going to share. Look, history sometimes will give us a silver lining. So I'm going to share a silver lining coming up. In 8 bars, I'll explain that. 2 years ago, though, this was arguably one of the top 5 coaching staffs in all of college football. Elite. As you said earlier, Left, I have no clue what this coaching staff is right now.
None.
I have no clue. We don't know what Chris Ash is as a DC. We don't. We now don't know what the DB coach is going to be. Is he going to coach safety and cornerback, or do they go back to finding a coach for the cornerbacks and a coach for the safeties? Are we about to get 2 for 1? I don't know. Max Bullock is gone. Max Bullock leaves. They lose Ellis McGaskin, 4-star linebacker out of Alabama, in the aftermath. Coach Washington goes there. Charlie Partridge, he was on the East Coast recruiting last week. He's on the West Coast right now recruiting and meeting with some of the same players that Marcus Freeman and Al Washington met with last week. We have to wait and see. The one thing we can say, the cupboard is not bare for any of the coaches defensively.
No.
You have the talent. That is not the issue.
Because we just got Joey O'Brien and all these dudes and Mike Mickens just dip. You gotta be a premium to find a replacement. Premium. You gotta hold. That's the strength of your defense. In recruiting, in team defense, and you give it to Ash.
Yeah, I want to ask Notre Dame fans, what do you have in this coaching staff? Put it in the chat.
What do you have?
What do you have in this coaching staff? Jury's still out on the wide receiver coach? Probably.
Been out. Still out.
Questions about the O-line coach?
Still out.
Probably. Spotlight on the OC this year? Probably.
Heavy.
Yes.
Gino, his what Gino's doing, heavy. You responsible for the main piece.
I don't know. So I'm not about to sit here and tell Notre Dame fans it's okay. Don't panic. Don't worry about it. Heck, it's been one of those off seasons, man.
Yeah.
It's been one of those off seasons. It has. And it's just another body blow.
Marcus Freeman's in his office playing that "Who Can I Run To?" To share this empty space we having. He got empty space. He's got to fill that with the confidence in these guys. Yeah, you brought in guys with some resumes. You got to fill that with confidence because we said it. I said it last week, last year, this whole time. He's making the transition from a defensive team to an offensive team anyway. Anyway. This is only a part of it. The pressure was on the offense before Mike Mickens left. Mike Mickens was just your safety net. That was the get out of jail free card. That was to hold the opposing defense to under 20 points so you can figure it out on offense. That safety guard is out of there. And the pressure on Marty Biaggi, he might be out of there too. That's a fake punt every attempt if he leaves. So now Marcus Freeman's coaching acumen has to start coming into form. That wily leadership, that veteran, because you have no more safety guards. You was coaching on safety guards for 4 years. Playing around on offense. Oh, I'll try this guy out, I'll try this guy out, I'll try this guy out. We'll move this piece, do this piece. Oh, we got great players that can mask all of that. Offense is under the hugest spotlight because that's what's going to carry the team, clearly. It's going to have to. You're literally not only predicted to win the championship, you're predicted to have the Heisman as your quarterback. That's different than any year you've been here. Even the year we went to the championship, we felt good about it, but they didn't slight you to win it. They didn't even slight you to get there. They didn't even slight your quarterback.
Give me some type of cooking example, Lev. Dude, you are the favorite to win the state fair chili contest. You're the heads-on favorite. Like you said, they're the best favorite to win the national championship with the best favorite to win the Heisman. You're the heads-on favorite for everything.
For everything.
And as you approach the competition, you changed it. The whole staff goes.
Whole staff. Guy can't make it. He got a wedding rehearsal.
It's crazy.
Another guy can't make it. So you gotta bring your son to come help you out. You're changing the recipe this year. You're getting new utensils. You got new competition, but you slighted to win, and you don't have excuses. You've been in the off season talking about how your chili should have won the competition the last 2-3 years.
Oh, I knew you had one for me. Cook, Lev.
You out there saying, "Hey, your recipe was good and all, but mine should have took the cake." I got cheated by the judges. The judges was from your own hometown. I had to go down there and have tough competition. I'm in Miami. That's where the judges is from. Now it's in South Bend. Now the championship is in South Bend. What are we going to do? You change the recipe. You change your staff. Guys ain't showing up. But you literally slighted to win not only the best chili, but the best chef, the best taste. What can you do? And I think Marcus Freeman has done a great job of putting fires out all off season, addressing the scrutiny that we getting from other conferences, head coaches and administrators and ADs. But this is a different, because it always is the internal battles that are the toughest. It's always the internal battles that are the toughest. Notre Dame is fortified, built for it, tough to handle outside attacks, but the inside pressure is where it always exists. You showing up to this with a spoon and a fork, you got a whole competition to win. So I think this is the biggest year for Marcus Freeman with the least confidence, the least knowledge of what can happen. It's one thing to map out the year when you have your generals and your aces in the hole and your guys you've been battling with for years. It's a new staff, and the guy that you brought in is buddy with the D coordinator. It's just like you're forming another mob under your nose. It's like you're bringing in subversion into your own camp. And you're making it stronger while making yourself weaker. So it's a lot that's non on the field. But it's always the transition we said we needed to make. Marcus Freeman had to make this transition. He had to. You couldn't do it just being the defensive team. You had to be able to have that offensive juggernaut, that quarterback, and now you happen to have it. Well, people believe you have it. But it's an interesting thing. It's not all on you, but decisions that were made previous years led up to this that we talked about could be potential problems. It led up to this. Seriously. So now we in a situation.
So I'll end it with this. Here's the silver lining. In recent college football history, we saw a head coach flirt with the NFL only to return for one more season. We saw them come into that offseason missing an opportunity, thinking they should have won it the year before. A missed scandal that dominated the headlines and dominated the social media talk. Vitriol from other fan bases all the time. They lost coaches, but they also brought in one of the best group of portal additions on the defensive line to give themselves a dominant, deep defensive line to go along with a dominant offensive line. And eventually they went on to win the national championship. Who am I talking about?
IU.
I'm talking about the Michigan Wolverines.
Oh.
They entered that offseason beating Ohio State, but the cheating scandal had been unraveling. That's all everybody talked about all offseason. Harbaugh flirted with the Bears. He flirted with the NFL. Finally came back for a season amidst questions of what the Big Ten was going to do to punish him. They suspend him in season. And their now former head coach, Sharon Moore, takes over and cries, Jim Harbaugh, Coach Harbaugh, you're my man.
The biggest shame in college football for the black.
That's when we knew he was soft.
That's when we knew it was here. It wasn't gonna last long.
Like, nah, bro. No.
That was just as bad as Roy Williams out there in North Carolina, man.
And the crazy thing that stories are coming out that the squad was bribing that dude for playing time because they knew what he was doing. That's wild. Wild. But I digress. That's the ray of hope we have. Because you have a Fighting Irish team that has had one of the worst off seasons mixed with some very good things to happen through the portal, defensive line coach addition that looks like it might be beneficial. Influx of an incredible 26 class, health and the return of some guys. But boy, they are making it hard, just like Michigan made it hard the offseason leading up to the season that eventually led to them winning a national championship. And maybe, just maybe, this is the path that Marcus Freeman and Notre Dame have to walk to ultimately hoist the trophy.
Yeah. And nobody said it was going to be easy. As easy as people giving it to us, it's clearly we're having these. I don't even know if we can predict it. We're just handling things as they come and, producing and adapting as it happens. And, we haven't even hit our first game yet, not even the spring game. Hell, we don't even know what we're going to look like. When you lose coaches like that, you don't even know what you're going to look like. That's crazy.
Lucky Lefty Podcast. I'm happy you think we'll be fine. Tell me the elite coach on the staff. Drew Benson. Tell me the elite coach on the staff. Because championships left. So I'm not talking about, I don't want to be fine. I want to win a championship. Notre Dame fans are tired of being fine. See, let me calm myself down.
No. We fine every year.
This is not about what Drew said. But that just kind of got me going. They got me going. That's fine that you mentioned Marcus Freeman. Tell me the other elite coach on the staff. Because Indiana has 3 elite assistant coaches. 3.
The OC, the DC, the head coach.
And the O-line coach.
And the O-line coach is good too.
3. Yeah. Miami has 2.
2.
When Michigan won a championship, they had 3. Tell me the elite. Oh, come on, man. Stop. Literally, we have protected Mike Denbrock for 2 seasons from this fan base. 2. We left. Have we not stuck up for Coach Denbrock for 2 years?
Yeah.
Fans have been trying to kill Coach Denbrock. Kill him.
Even with the points averaging.
Absolutely.
Because the way it looks. And also, ZAIRE, we can talk about ZAIRE. ZAIRE's in his own identity crisis right now.
Give me the proof.
Can't be ZAIRE.
I'm not talking about at LSU. Give me the proof at Notre Dame.
Gino's still under spotlight.
He's still in the spotlight.
This the year Gino got to prove it.
Absolutely.
First of all, Gino didn't have to prove it CJ's freshman year because we had Jeremiah Love. Gino didn't have to prove it when he had Sam Hartman. Gino didn't have to prove it when he had Riley. This the year Gino got to prove it for real. Because now you went from not having to do anything for 3 years to now your position room has to produce a Heisman with no backup, with no prior experience other than 1 year where you were handing the ball off. So you go from handing the ball off to winning a Heisman on a team that can only go if your quarterback goes. That's the biggest proof and evidence that you can do anything right now. So you and Denbrock are hand in hand under the spotlight. Unfortunately and fortunately, this only happened because you got rid of Kenny. In my opinion, you made it harder getting rid of Kenny.
I don't even want to talk about Kenny. This is the problem. When the question I just posed was posed to me, the only name I could say was Mike Denbrock. That was the only name I could say. And the fact that that's the only name I can say is a problem. It's a problem. Go look at the last 4 to 5 national championship teams. They had multiple elite assistants.
Hell, look at Saban's coaching tree. Saban had 7 championships, and look at his coaching tree. The coaching tree dominated the whole playoffs. Yes. So in order for you to even get 7 championships, you got to produce coaches that can win championships themselves.
Because winning is done in the margins. Everybody, when you get to the semifinals, has talent. Everybody has talent. Coaching and other things like team identity helps you to win in the margins. Indiana beat Miami because they won the margins. Go watch the game. They won the margins. They won the third downs. They won the fourth downs. They won the situations. They won the coaching battle. They won special teams. They won by the margins. I'll be petty for a minute. I'll give you guys, check, please, everybody that wants to do this, go watch Pat Coogan last year in the championship game against Ohio State. Just go watch him. Then turn on Pat Coogan against Miami in the championship game. And you tell me what he looks like against Ohio State and what he looks like against Miami. And let me know whether or not coaching matters. Let me know.
He went to Miami and looked like they almost thought Indiana was tampering.
I see
the way Pat Coogan was playing.
He was
the way Pat Coogan was playing. I thought Indiana was tampering the way we just let him walk like that. That's what we had sitting in the tuck. That's what we could. That's what the good speeches could have been. That's what we let walk. That's why it's an indictment. That's why you say they ain't no elite coaches. Because how does Rudolph let that leave? How does Rudolph let that leave? If anything, him winning was a huge indictment on Rudolph because what transfer do you let walk to go do that? Look like an all-pro. How is the lineman holding up the trophy at the championship game, Coach Rudolph? What lineman has a memorable photo that will hang up in Indiana hallways where the lineman, not the quarterback is clapping for the lineman who won the MVP of the other bowl game, holding up the national champion, the guy you let walk out the door to say, hey, I don't like it here. I don't like our situation. I don't like our relationship. I'm going to walk. That guy is holding up the trophy. What lineman do you see? Even the Michigan lineman, when they won the national championship, the Joe Moore Award, which lineman was holding up that national trophy? Can't name one. They had Pat Coogan and the Heisman winning quarterback standing on the national stage. The guy you let walk. That's why we say there's no elite coaches. He stands with never. He stands the guy that you need on the staff that has got Hall of Famers that is playing in the league that come back and teach your young prospects how to be great. What guys are coming back for Rudolph? This is the truth. This is an indictment on why there's not elite coaching like we saw against Georgia. Where is that staff? We even have strength coaches leaving. Golly. This is where Marcus Freeman earns and crosses that echelon of being a true elite coach.
Drew was right for the first name being Marcus Freeman, because right now he needs to be elite. He needs to be an elite executive. He needs to be elite at human resources.
No more rah-rah. This is where Brian Kelly is excellent, in my opinion. This is why Brian Kelly survived 10 years at Notre Dame. I know y'all don't want to give him no credit. I know he's sitting at home sitting on $52 million for free. But this is why Brian Kelly get paid the big bucks. Because Brian Kelly knew it was never about him. I'm not out here trying to do these commercials under my merit. Are you crazy? I'm not coaching. I'm CEOing. I'm going to bring in a Matt LaFleur that can't beat Ben Johnson, but he going to get that head coaching job. He a good coach. He can't beat Ben Johnson, but he can win some games at Notre Dame for a year. That's okay. I'm going to bring in Den Brock and take him with me and win a Heisman because he can hire the coaches to do the job the right way. He can get the staff. Marcus Freeman, don't call Thomas Hammett. Call Brian Kelly. Brian, only you in situations so desolate, can you find the right guy to hire? He always hired the right guy. I'm not going to lie. That's why I love the man, because he's a business guy. He can't coach a lick. He literally would go in there. You learn a whole meeting about what the practice is going to be. He come in the last 5 minutes and say the complete opposite thing. But I tell you what, he going to get you the right coaches. Every time. Every time. Listen, he only can do it because he knows what he's doing. He can hire them coach. Call Brian Kelly as an analyst. That's who you bring in. That's who you bring in. I'm telling you. The man don't need no money. He probably do it for free. He's sitting on $52 million. He do it for free. Bring him in, Marcus Freeman. He'll be your best HR department. Oh, man. What? Kelly is the best HR guy you can find. He's going to find the right people to hire. He's going to cover all the BS. He gonna stay low. He gonna golf. He gonna stay out the way. He ain't gonna recruit. He ain't gonna step on your toes. Marcus Freeman, the man just handle business in the office. Perfect resource. Hire Kelly as your right hand man. That's who you replace for Mike Mickens. But anyway, all I'm saying is hiring at this position is no longer about being the rah-rah guy. And this is why Marcus Freeman needs to take that transition. You don't need to be the face. Go a week without Julio. Don't get a haircut. Just try it out. No Beijing for wait a minute. Wait a minute. Don't get a haircut for a couple weeks.
How did Julio catch straight?
Wait a minute. No. Julio, you can't go to Marcus Freeman for a couple weeks. Let the team be the face. Let CJ take over. Miss a commercial for once. Dig into your CEO bag. Be the guy behind the stage. That's what Marcus Freeman need to be. Forget the coaching. Forget the rah-rah. The clean cut, custom suit, clothing line, forget it. Dig in your Brian Kelly bag and hire them people. Go golfing. Go golfing. Because that's what's going to help Marcus Freeman in this next stage. For real. He can't do anymore because now you just putting yourself out there to be laid on the stake where all the blame is going to come to you and you can't score no touchdowns. You can't make no tackles. You got to let your quarterback take the shine. This is the first time where Notre Dame, especially now the expectations are on us, where you got to let the quarterback be the man. Let him be the man. It can't be the coach no more. You got to let CJ be the next Brady Quinn if this is going to work. Marcus Freeman got to step down. No more commercials. No more Beijing. No more haircuts every week. You got to play the background and hire them right people because you can't score no touchdowns and the blame going to go to you because all the pressure right now is on Marcus Freeman and the quarterback. And all the things that's happening that's affecting your job, nobody cares about. Mike Mickens is the hugest thing happening to you since you've been there. No elite coaching matters. Indiana did it.
Indiana did what? Wait, whoa. Indiana did what?
Great coaching got them a championship.
Oh, okay. I thought
when Georgia won their championships, they had great coaching
staff. Great
coaching staff. That back-to-back, almost three-peat became because of their coaching staff. Mike Bobo, them 2 years he was there, was cooking.
No, it wasn't Bobo. That was Monken.
Oh, Monken. I'm sorry. Monken. Oh, yeah, Monken.
It was Monken.
Monken is the reason why they back-to-back.
Brown was your DB coach.
With your Fran Brown as your DB? Come on now. Great staffs win championships with great players. So tell me the great coaching staff Marcus Freeman can surround himself with right now. Can't find it.
Now, I'll say this. I gave you the silver lining. Off-season for Notre Dame has been very similar to what the off-season in 2022 was for Michigan. Very similar. Very similar. Or 23, shall I say. Very similar. Crazy. Maybe Notre Dame needs this type of stuff around it to push it to a national championship as well. We can only hope. We can only hope. But this offseason has been, hopefully they can respond like Rocky, because the program is taking a lot of hits. A lot of hits. A lot of hits. Lucky Lefty Podcast. There are some names of defensive back coaches that I think Notre Dame probably should look at. I got a text, right? And it's name from several people, and one name came up multiple times. He's currently, Kerry Combs. All right. For me, I don't know if that really moves. Ola Adams. Now, look, Ola Adams from Indiana. I heard great things from a couple of people about him. Great things. He's a defensive backs coach in Indiana. Now, I wonder would that be a fit, because I think that would be a fit, or any one of the Indiana guys. Ola Adams or Rod Jones would be a great fit, because Indiana really teaches zone coverage well. And I think Chris Ash would prefer to play, even with the talent he has in defensive.
I'm telling you, he's gonna make it look different.
He would prefer.
He's gonna go straight to that zone.
He's shown that he wants to play more zone.
He's gonna rely on that front four with Charlie Partridge, his boy. But this is not Notre Dame defense. Marcus Freeman's gonna be looking at Drake Bowen like, I teaching him zone concepts. This is why losing Mike Mickens is he is a different voice in that DB room. Mm-hmm. The different voice is gonna go to Chris Ash.
Yeah,
he ain't going to Marcus Freeman. He ain't gonna know Marcus Freeman what he thinking, even if it's a good hire. So that's a transition. It's gonna look. The defense is not the top 5 defense. The way they've been playing is gonna look the same. It's not. I told you when Chris Ash came in, by year 3, it's gonna look the way he wanted to look. And you're hiring guys that he coached with. Marcus Freeman better jump on that offensive side. Because Drake Bowen is going to be like, this is different. Different calls, different defense. I'm zoning, I'm not blitzing. I mean, it's different.
Yeah. It is. Bro, I put up, this is why you can't, people, whether it's politics, sports, I wish most people could live in the middle, because everybody feels like they have to pick a side and defend a coach or either come at a coach. I'm going to say it simply. Go watch Pat Coogan playing center versus Ohio State, which is a really good defensive line, and go watch him play center against another defensive line in Miami. And you tell me which player looks better. We can remove who the running backs are. We can remove who the quarterbacks are. Just tell me, when does he look better as a player? Period. That's it. That's it. I'm not saying anything about anybody. This is not about Ashton Craig being better than Pat Coogan. It's not what it's about.
Not what it's about.
I didn't bring up starting a redshirt freshman next to a true freshman.
Not what it's about.
That's smart. Maybe not. No need to talk about that. Case in point. Pat Coogan versus NFL talent, elite NFL talent, 1 year, and against elite NFL talent the next year. Just watch it. Just watch it and let me know what you think. That's it.
It just goes back to what you said.
And this is not to say, let me say this. This is not to say, because I always say this. I never say what a coach or a player cannot become. Because I believe that. I never tell a coach or player what they can't become or what they cannot do. I just do not know more than the one name that has been said in the chat and the one name I gave when someone asked me. That's all. Until further notice, I only see one coach that can be considered elite from an assistant coach standpoint. And championship teams normally have 2 to 3 elite.
Yeah, like even in all the championship games, you hear the commentary talk a lot about the offensive coordinator, the defensive coordinator, or the assistant that also make it happen. Who are we talking about? We think Chris Ash has a good resume, yeah, but Denbrock has proven in ways not at Notre Dame the same way, but yeah, we don't have the pieces that made Denbrock successful at Notre Dame the last 3 years. We don't have the dynamic running quarterback or the dynamic running backs that made us successful the last 3 years. We don't have that. We don't have an Aldridge Estimate. We don't have a Jeremiah Love or Jadarian Price. Those are the 3 years he's been there, which most of the offense has came through. Before that, it was a Michael Mayer, a young receiver, and Faison.
Yeah.
I mean, outside of getting lucky with a Heisman running back and a first, second round running back as his backup, what is Notre Dame really bringing from the offensive side?
I'll be honest with you. Like if Notre Dame goes the route of hiring 2 coaches, it will be gangster and bullyish to just go ahead and take both secondary coaches from Indiana. It was just here's the check. Here's the check.
Clearly, we're not paying the money that is the going rate if we can't keep up with Mickens.
Mickens didn't leave because of money, bro. People got to let that go. It wasn't money.
It wasn't money. Okay, it wasn't money. It was definitely a positioning thing. He's primed for a bigger role, if just not a bigger opportunity. And I think with how we played into him leaving. I don't even think it was him not wanting to be there. It's just how we played it, you know. And if we played it better, it could have went the right way.
That's fair.
We could have kept him if we wanted to, in my opinion.
That's fair.
There's no lack of resource. There's no.
I disagree with that. They could not have kept him if they wanted to. No, they could not.
Back before the DC hire?
Before the DC hire?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because if he stayed not taking and not even getting an interview, if he stayed not even getting an interview, you telling me he wouldn't have been there if he would have got the DC? I mean, it's just, I don't know. What else can a brother do? That's the question I feel like Mike Mickens was asking himself leaving. What else can I do? Where else can I elevate as a position, if I'm killing it outside of here, I'm top of the top, and being top of the top, I can't get higher than this.
Yeah, I think
The highest I can move is being a coordinator of 2 position groups. That's crazy.
I think was man. Oh yeah, NC Notre Dame fan. I hate these new ads, bro. Let's see. We're about to get to the GTB on the way out left. Sean answered this: if Miami would have beat IU, who are the elite coaches on their staff? Jason Taylor, who's a Hall of Famer, number one.
Got Ruben Dane and Messidor, right?
Their defensive coordinator, who was elite when he was at Minnesota.
Yeah.
What? Man, I'm done, man. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm just done. Jason Taylor, Corey Featherman. There's 2 right there. I'll just stay on the defensive side of the ball. What are we talking about, man?
The defensive coordinator in 1 year made the difference for their team.
Look, bro.
We wasn't talking anything about their defense until this year. Think about that. Remember, we were like, their defense couldn't stop a nosebleed. Their defense is why they weren't successful.
When Notre Dame got to the national championship game, it's fair to say that they went to the national championship game with 3 elite assistant coaches.
Yes.
That's fair to say.
Then Brock.
That's fair to say. What do you mean outside? You can't go outside of Taylor. He's on the staff. What are we talking about? That's like me saying, well, go outside of Mickens. Who else when he was on the staff? What are you talking about? They have 2 to 3 assistant coaches that are elite championship teams. That's a fact. That's a fact. And we asked the question, name us one. Name us one. I named Featherman. Heck, go look at their O-line play. Now, Kevin Beard is saying, man, that cat, Uncle Luke is going at Kevin Beard hard on social media. That was weird to me. Like, because I can't, I'm trying to find the equivalent that's taking place, like Notre Dame on Notre Dame hate from a media perspective or a fan perspective. And Luther Campbell is pretty big. Uncle Luke is pretty big in connection to the University of Miami and that community down there. For him to openly bash Kevin Beard as a wide receiver coach, after Kevin Beard just recruited and produced a true freshman that put up 1,200 yards and then has some other freshmen. He did lose JoJo. I think JoJo traded.
JoJo went to NC State.
He went to North Carolina. Yeah, I think he transferred.
CJ Bailey, who's from Miami.
Yeah, but I mean, can you look, man? Look, he got Malachi Tony, bro, and the kid produced. CJ Daniels produced. Marion produced. What were the stats? His wide receivers put up like 3,800 yards of production or something crazy like that. Like, I'm not calling him elite. I'm just saying, like, yo, he can recruit. His wide receiver room produced. Dude, it's tough, man. It's tough. And I understand why Notre Dame fans are kind of like, I understand why Notre Dame fans are feeling the way they're feeling, right? But I just want to encourage your hearts tonight. Yeah, I agree. I didn't expect the Miami wide receivers to be that good as a group this year. I really didn't. I
knew CJ Daniels was nice and Malachi Tony was nice. That's how I called a game for CJ Daniels at Liberty.
Okay.
So I knew they had, and JoJo Trader was a talent. So I knew they had talent And just knowing Florida, knowing they always got really high potential. It just takes a quarterback to be down there. That's why Cam Ward had so much success. And, they just didn't have the defense that year. But Miami is always a potential. Florida's always a potential. They just got to get a quarterback.
Jay Melvin says, Sean, do you think Notre Dame can still have a top 5 recruiting class despite the loss of Mickens? Yes.
No.
I disagree. Because I
disagree
with that. I think they will and still can.
Mickens built the recruiting channel for Marcus,
bro. Their defensive class up front has a really good shot of being really good, especially over the next 2 years.
You're saying 27, 28, 29?
I said the back end was the star of the 26 class. I think the front end becomes the star, and the back end might not be as good as it was. But if they can just keep the guys they already have in the class and just grab maybe 2 more, it's going to be a solid group in the secondary. And then they can use that to build and return back to the same form in the 28 class. It's 2 kids in the 28 class on the defensive line from Chicago that they are right there with. Like, they are right there at the top. And they're both top 25 players in the nation. They're right there. They're right there. So it might not look the same, but yes, they can have a top 25. And if they make the transition left that you claim they're going to make offensively, then that means the offensive side gets recruited at a higher level, right? All of a sudden, if their receivers start producing, you attract bigger receivers, right?
I mean, it's doom
and gloom right now, bro.
A lot of it depends on the coaching right now.
I agree.
How much can you get CJ to that Heisman level? That's all it is.
And that's a huge loss recruiting wise. I will not shortchange that. I will not.
You don't have a selling point.
Well, first of all, Marcus Freeman is the selling point. He's always been the selling point.
Yeah, but just like Cardinal Tate, they got to have a guy that they can believe in that can get them to the next level.
Well, Mike
Mickens, without a doubt, without even being at Notre Dame.
I agree.
That's why our DB class is where our DB class is.
The wide
receiver coach is a prime example of why we can't bring in a Jeremiah Smith.
The wide receiver coach was not a problem.
The wide receiver coach is the prime example.
The head coach refused to speak to his mother. That's the problem. Before we even get to the position coach, Brian Kelly refused to speak to his mother, and his mother said, "You're not going to Notre Dame."
Come on, man. Okay. Period. That's one example, but in general,
that's the example you use.
But I'm saying, in comparison to a Brian Hartline, where guys are lining up, they don't need to speak to Ryan Day. They said Brian Hartline's the key. Mike Mickens was the key.
Ryan Day speak to them though?
Ryan, it don't matter. Ryan Day can't call plays. We saw Ryan Day can't call no plays. Ryan Day can't call no plays.
You just said the head coach doesn't matter when it comes to speaking to parents.
In certain cases, you think how much do you think? Wait. How much do you think Garrett Wilson parents cared about Ryan Day or Brian Hartline? Chris Olave.
For a single black mother from the inner city of Chicago, you think she's going to send her son to a school where the head coach won't speak to her? Do you really believe that? Please tell me. Okay,
no, I don't believe that.
Okay, then stop.
But you think that's the only reason why?
Yes.
Come on, man.
He told both of us that's the reason why. Yes. He wanted to come. It was one of his top schools. His mother said no. His mother wouldn't even let him take the unofficial.
Okay, but we can agree though. We can agree in totality that people are going there for Brian Hartline.
I'm not speaking of totality. you can have your point to totality. When you bring up Cardell Tate,
we missed on
that's
Cardell Tate because of Brian Kelly. That's fine. Brian Kelly is
Okay.
not a great recruiter.
Okay.
Marcus Freeman could have, well,
That's all I'm
why
saying.
couldn't Marcus Freeman navigate that if the head coach mattered that much?
Because the damage was already done. It was done. The damage was done.
Oh, man.
The damage was done. That's your feeling, dude. You trying to stick up for your coach. He blew it. He blew a lot of them. We can go down the laundry list of players he blew. Pause. Or players.
Super pause. But Brian Kelly is not a recruiter.
So
Brian Kelly is not a recruiter.
Because this went left real quick. I apologize.
Super pause.
Yeah, that was crazy. He messed up a lot of recruitments. I'll just leave it like that. Could we lose Mike Denbrock next? I don't think so. Lev, what do you think? I'm trying to get through these.
Denbrock not leaving because Denbrock got a lot to prove. Where you going to leave to? Denbrock's in a prime position. You can't get no better. You got to make this the best it can be. LSU was a tester. A tester compared to the challenge Notre Dame presents. Ain't nowhere not Mike Denbrock want to go. He better make it work, which is why he's under spotlight. Because if you can't make it work here, you ain't getting a better job. What do you mean? It's the cream of the crop. He ain't leaving. It ain't Mike. The cream of the crop for Mike Mickens was to be the DC. Mike Denbrock, the other Mike, is the OC. Ain't no bigger. What Tommy Reese do? He went to the league. He said, ain't no bigger job for me to go to other than the league. Denbrock's next stop is the NFL. Ain't no other college position for him to go to. So this is why it's important for him to show I'm the cream of the crop.
Yeah.
We talked about Georgia. Mike Munkin, or not Mike Munkin, but Munkin got to the league because Georgia was the prime position.
Facts.
And he used it, won a championship dip. What do you think Denbrock's trying to do? Seriously. There is nowhere to go other than up for Mike Denbrock.
Yeah.
Other than up. There's no leaving in this situation. Yeah. Mike Mickens can leave because it ain't a DC. This the OC. He came back. What you mean? Let's not forget. He left a Heisman run to come back to Notre Dame, which is desolate at quarterback. He didn't even have a quarterback when he came. Think about that. Mike Denbrock left LSU after a Heisman run to come to a position where no quarterback existed. He just got a quarterback 3 years later, guys. Come on. This is the echelon. Matt LaFleur came to Notre Dame to be a half OC.
Not a half OC.
A half. It was 3 guys calling the plays. He came to be a half OC and got a head coaching job. This is the top of the top. What are you, Gerard Parker? Gerard, whatever you call him. Parker, a no name. We ain't even heard from him since. Have you heard something from him? No, you haven't heard nothing from him. Came and got pushed to the position and got a head coaching job and disappeared from the sphere and the spotlight of college football. This is the cream of the crop. Denbrock knows that. That's why the man is bugging, talking about, I ain't got no help. He acting like LeBron. I ain't got no help. Give me a receiver coach, guys, leave. I'm expected to win a Heisman with no coaching staff. What are we talking about? No Heisman running back, nothing. I got a shabby O-line coach, unproven quarterback and receiver coach, and an expectation to win the Heisman. What are we talking about? This ain't Lane Kiffin where he can throw money at people. We don't even accept the transfers like that.
Man, this is a great show, man. You got me fired up about Tate. You did, bro. Because you
For
know,
real.
you know the Michigan State story that we have from C Tate that he told both of us that we could drop and go viral. Man, please.
Tell it.
No.
Tell it.
No.
Carnell Tate's a day one, day two guy. We should have had that Notre Dame, but we wasn't prepared. It was our fault. We ain't had an echelon at receiver position to get him to where he is today. Period.
I would say this.
Period.
I would say this. If you think Brian Kelly, what he did was bad,
There's no difference between Carnell Tate and Justin Scott. Justin Scott told us both, I ain't coming there if I'm the best player coming in. Carnell Tate is no different. He ain't coming there unless he like, man, I got Jeremiah Smith that's going to get me top pick, top and all type of routes, all type of stuff.
Well, you know, there's a common thread. You know the common thread to Notre Dame and Justin Scott and C. Tate? You know the common thread with both of them? There were mistakes, there were missteps with both of their mothers in their recruitment.
We supposed to be number one in moms. And we supposed to be number one in moms. And we supposed to be number one in moms.
There were two nightmare situations that involved both of their moms. No lie. It's a fact. It is what it is, man, unfortunately. But we're off that. That's old news. We're on to 2026. I said Notre Dame, there's a precedence where a team had just as much craziness around it in the offseason, but they were still favorites to win, and they were able to get it done. That is the silver lining, that Notre Dame can replicate what the Michigan Wolverines were able to do just 3 years ago. That's it. That's my silver lining. That's me telling you, hey, it's not over. It's not over. It's not. I promise you. Lucky Lefty Podcast. For Left, SD2 Mike's Brian Hatton, you said, what? Oh, yeah. What alum would you like to see get a chance? In the future, I would love to see Houston Griffith come back in the future when he gets a little more experience. And, you know, he's at Western Michigan now, but I wouldn't mind Chris O'Leary coming back to Notre Dame. I wouldn't mind. I would. Great show, Left. Fire show. Hope you all enjoyed. Love the chat. Chat was lit as always. Go over to FanDuel.com. Super Bowl, 4.5-point favorites. Whew. Seattle Seahawks. Will they get it done? You go to FanDuel, FanDuel.com. Download the FanDuel app. For Left, SD2 Mics, we'll see you next time right here. Love each other, but make sure you continue to spin it different.